Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lions Den with another news and commentary. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another lynching, y'all. 18-year-old Amari Bryant was found hanged in front of a motel in Georgia. So this article comes from News One. It says, Black teen in suspicious hanging was not suicidal, friends and family say. Friends and family and community leaders were calling an independent investigation into the suspicious hanging of a black teenager who was found dead over the weekend. Amari Bryant's body was hanging in front of a motel early Saturday morning in the town of Homerville, and people close to the 18-year-old are doubting the cause of his death is a suicide. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, GBI, is conducting an autopsy on Bryant to determine the exact cause of death. However, the top law enforcement department in the state will not be investigating Bryant's death. That's a red flag right there. I'm going to stop you right there. And I'm going to tell you why it's a red flag, because you can't trust the local police department when it comes to stuff like this. Because what they do, and we as black people know this, they love to cover up crimes like this and make it say, well, he committed suicide. It was a suicide thing, and don't want to investigate. So I don't trust the local police department there. And I want the GBI investigate independently, of course. I want them to investigate this. Because again, it's suspicious automatically. It really is. So let's continue. It says, in the meantime, lawyers representing Bryant's family were calling for the GBI to get involved. In addition to conducting our own investigation, we are calling for the GBI to conduct an independent investigation into this suspicious death of a young man loved and respected by his family and community. Francis Johnson, a partner with the Davis Bozeman Johnson law firm and former Georgia NAACP president, said in a statement emailed to News One. The circumstances surrounding Bryant's death raised suspicious. A graphic photo supplied by Davis Bozeman Johnson law firm shows Bryant with a noose around his neck in front of the Southern Pines Inn. The photo can be viewed by clicking here. However, Bryant's feet appear to be touching the ground, conditions that would render any hanging attempt futile. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop it right there again. I was going to show you the picture, but I know YouTube is going to say there'll be a violation of, the copyright, blah, 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 blah. And then it's going to be disturbing to some viewers. So I decided not to even post a picture on here. But I did saw the picture before I did this video. And it's very disturbing and gruesome. And I'm going to tell you like this. This young 18-year-old man was lynched. I'm sorry. And if for those of you who said no, he was suicidal, you need to get your head examined and go see a doctor somewhere. Because anybody know, if you're a black person in America, everybody knows this is a lynching, not a suicide. Because black people in this country hang themselves in public. Let's keep it real. They don't do that. So let's continue with this article. It says, in addition, none of the 6 surveillance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this part. And this is why I don't believe what they say. It says, in addition, none of the 6 surveillance cameras outside of the Southern Pines Inn were working Saturday night. Have they been operating cameras would have recorded what happened? That's bull crap. I'm going to stop it right there. That's bull crap right there, because if you have a CCTV that works with 24 hours surveillance, it should have worked. All 6 cameras should have captured what happened to that brother that night. And then all of a sudden it's not working? What happened? Why wasn't it working? And you know what? I think what happened was they're too scared. They saw what happened to him. Talking about Amari. Something happened to Amari. They know that what happened to Amari because it's all on camera. And they're gonna lie to the public and say, well, it isn't working. And the local police probably involved in this lynching. So they was like, no, it's not working. They don't want all this to come out. Okay, let's continue. Notwithstanding, Bryant's family and close friends say that he never would have killed himself, and certainly not in the manner in which he was found. I think it's something behind the scenes about this, Octavius Butler, who went to high school with Bryant, told local news outlet WCTV. Another friend, Jocelyn Walker, said Bryant was not suicidal and would not want that kind of attention in life, let alone in death. He wasn't somebody that would do something like this and put himself on display, Walker told WCTV. He wouldn't want nobody looking at him in that kind of situation. A candlelight vigil is been planned for Tuesday night at the Southern Pines Inn. WCTV also reported that Bryant was recently, you know what? This is why I said I do not like when they always bring up a victim's criminal past. I don't like that. The mainstream media or local media are always doing this, bringing up his criminal past. And for what? Why does his criminal past have anything to do with what happened to this man? What happened to him? Why would they even do that? But they always do that in the media. You notice they don't do that to white suspects or white victims. But all of a sudden you want to do it to him. And he was tragically killed, ladies and gentlemen. He was lynched. And you want to bring up his criminal past? They always do that. But I'm not going to read that part because I'm tired of the media bringing up people's victims' criminal past, especially black victims, y'all. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. It says that Bryant's death is most recent a troubled series of a black man found hanging across the country this year. And it said DeAndre Roberts, 32, father A, was found hanging in Grand Junction, Colorado on September 21st. A GoFundMe account said before the investigation was even completed, the police and coroner ruled it a suicide, even though there were 7 avenues that have not been pursued with the investigation. In late June, Amari Kildia was found hanging in New Jersey. According to an online petition, Kildia had everything to look forward to, including beginning college in Virginia and aspirations toward a career in federal law enforcement, for which he had already laid a strong foundation. It was unclear why the death of Kildia, who was part of a social media-based group that identified and publicly outed the name of pedophiles, went without investigation and was ruled a suicide, according to the petition. Earlier that same month, 2 other black men just happened to found hanging before their deaths were ruled suicides. On June 10, 20-year-old Robert Fuller was found hanging from a tree near Palmdale, California. In the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Homicide Bureau Department said the full death appeared to be a suicide. One day earlier, 27-year-old Dominique Alexander was found dead by a passerby near the Hudson River in New York City. He was also hanging from a tree. Authorities ruled his death a suicide. In late May, Malcolm Harsh was found hanging in California, about 50 miles away from Fuller, died. The 38-year-old was hanging from a tree near a homeless encampment. In response to the series of hanging deaths of black men, one social media user used a tweet in June that these hangings are not suicides. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the News One article. You know, it's been months that I've been doing stories of people found hanging through trees, through buildings, and every last one of them has been ruled a suicide. Ladies and gentlemen, black people, we know this wasn't no suicide. As well as other previous cases, this wasn't no suicide. And so the only reason why they say they rule a suicide because they don't want to investigate. They don't want to admit that some law enforcement officers are engaging, the Klan activities. And what I mean is they engaging hangings from black people. And people gonna try to lie and trying to cover it up. Well, there's a suicide. But here's the key. You notice that every story that I've done, every video that I've done, you notice that they say they ruled suicide but never found a suicide note. And obviously, if a person is suicidal, they would find suicide notes telling them why they decided to take their own lives. Not one time they find any suicide note. And all of a sudden, even family members are very suspicious on why. They never could be suicidal before. If a person is suicidal, y'all, they would at least seek help on it. And that's why I knew something ain't right about this. And again, I don't trust the local police department there. I rather feel comfortable that the GBI, which is the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, get involved in this case because the local police department, they love to cover up this stuff. And as far as the motel's CCTV 24-hour surveillance videos that wasn't working, I don't buy that either, y'all. Because the thing of it is that any business or any establishment who has CCTV surveillance videos always works. So all of a sudden now all 6 cameras that they have doesn't work? No, 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 I don't buy that at all. This shows you, y'all, that it's a cover up. The motel knew what happened. They're scared to tell the truth, so they try to lie and say the video doesn't work, which basically it does work. They don't want to tell them what happened with Omari Bryant. So y'all let me know what you think about this. I mean, again, we have another lynching, and I'm gonna keep saying that this is another lynching, and people not taking this seriously. That every time there's a lynching, it always rules a suicide. But I'm glad that his friends and family said, no, this is not a suicide. He was murdered. Let's keep it real. Omari Bryant was murdered, and they want justice of the death of his family and friend. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this story. Like, click, subscribe, and remember to click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. Rest in peace, Omari Bryant. This is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.